Hi, Kamil.
Hi.
Kamil, you are the director of Tree Institute in Poland. Can you tell us what the organization is about and what is your role?
Yeah, so the Tree Institute came out of the project that we did a number of years ago. It was a Green Roads for Nature project. It was the largest campaign promoting trees, especially tree avenues in Poland. And we organized events in all country, and we've met with over 2,000 people. So we also met with other experts on trees, and it just naturally came together. And out of that, we grew Tree Institute. We have a fantastic team, a diverse team. People are coming from different backgrounds. Of course, we have tree experts, foresters with forestry background, education. But we also have people with biology degrees, with arts degrees, psychology, marketing. So we have a nice mixture. And the things that we do mostly is education. So we have trainings, we have conferences. This year we have more than 800 certified tree inspectors. Next month we will have the 5th Tree Assessment Congress, which will take in Białowieża. So that's mostly what we do. My role is to manage to keep it all together. I love trees, and the best thing for me is to do something with trees. But most of my work at Tree Institute is related to looking at different things, organizing different things, managing the whole process so it goes smoothly.
What inspired you to start your career in arboriculture?
Since I can remember, I was always interested in bringing people and trees together. So I went to study forestry. I have a forestry degree with the idea of connecting people and nature, people and trees. I was never interested in silviculture. I appreciate that. But also at the university I had a lot of urban forestry, arboriculture related stuff, a lot of social things about trees, and that's what got me really interested in I would say now urban forestry. So I would call myself now urban forester.
Mm-hmm. What's your perspective on the general public's attitude toward trees in urban conditions?
I think at least in Poland it has changed so much over the last 10-15 years. We see a huge increase in interest in trees. In the past, when you were doing something with trees, people would say, I hope you're gonna fell the tree. Now, in most cases, they say, I hope you're gonna keep the tree. And Beata Pachnowska, who is also on board of the Tree Institute, she does very interesting studies and research on the perception of people and trees, and the shift in mentality, the shift towards trees is changing rapidly. So I see a huge increase in trees from the public perspective, which is really nice and really important, because it means that in the past green departments were struggling with resources. Even though I always argue that we need to support those who work with trees in local communities, because they are the most important. They are there for years, they need to spend time on it. They are experts. Yeah, sometimes we can try to improve knowledge and skills, but they are the experts, and all we need to do is to support them. So in the past they didn't have this support, and now it's changing, because we can see that the budgets are better, their opinion starts to matter. So I think this public influence is huge, and it's changing our industry.
In your opinion, are European cities making sufficient effort to conserve and protect their trees at the moment?
That's a tricky question. I think yes, in general yes. You can argue that they don't make enough effort, but looking at different cities over the years, I think the progress is massive. The industry is transformed, the approach is transformed, the budget is much higher. So I think we are on a good path. It means we are making mistakes, but without mistakes we wouldn't grow. So it's good that we are making mistakes because we can learn. Of course we can say always we can do something better, and if we are involved, we can help make these decisions better, but I think we are on a good path.
Can you list from your experience some case studies in Poland where cities are making some substantial steps?
Yeah, for example, in Warsaw there is this map of trees. So they use new technology to scan all the trees in Warsaw. So that was a huge step. The creation of green departments in some cities with massive budgets is really good. In a number of cities, Wrocław, Poznań, what they do now is they take out the grey infrastructure, like in a pavement or in an old parking spot. They use this space to plant trees. So they renew it, they bring soil, they take everything out, and they plant trees in places in which you would consider in the past it was impossible. And I think another example what's happening in Poland, so over the last few years, also within LIFE project, we have developed arboricultural standards. And now these standards are included in financing schemes. So if you want to get a grant for building, construction, whatever, and if there are trees or green space, you have to work according to the standard. So it's a huge tool for us to use, and we are really proud that it's happening because we can see how it comes into reality.
By the way, I hear some Scottish sound in your speech. Do you have any past experience in Scotland?
No, you don't hear that. You just know that I studied in. I wish I had Scottish accent. I did my forestry degree in Scotland, and I will be. How to say that? I will appreciate that forever. So the forestry degree is completely different to what we have in Poland. We did a lot of urban forestry. We did a lot of social aspects of forestry. So we did have a lot of that. And also working in international environment. I think that was really special. And by the way, in Scotland they are now investing huge resources into implementing 330-300 rule. So they are one of the first countries that started really implementing the scheme. The idea was created by Cecil Conanderdijk, global urban forester, and the idea is that a person should see at least 3 trees from the office, from home, 3 large trees. The canopy cover of the area should be at least 30%, and a given person should have no more than 300 meters to a nearby green space. And there are some other details into that, but I think it's a brilliant idea and great tool.
What initiatives are you involved in to educate the public about significance of tree care and conservation?
So there is a number of things that we do at Tree Institute, like different things. Locally, I go to schools, and also it's so it works on all levels. We are involved in Tree Friends network in Poland, so we support also public movement. But apart from that, it's international projects, Erasmus Plus projects, but also LIFE projects on the international level.
Can you share your experience working on the European Arboricultural Standards, which you mentioned? How did you get involved, and what major moments you remember?
I can't remember when we started, but there was one big surprise for me, that the challenges for all of us, it doesn't matter where you are coming from, are exactly the same. We are struggling with bad tree pruning practices. We are struggling with tree planting success. Tree assessment is done in a completely different ways, and you cannot compare the data. So we all have the same challenges, and it seems like we have similar solutions, but to be in this international team where you can see that this approach in a given country is slightly different, I think it is really, really valuable. That's the best part about the arboricultural standards, that the same problems, we can gather the experience and know-how from all across Europe. And that's the greatest strength of the standards. So it's a really comprehensive tool.
You've got in Poland your own national set of standards. How these two influence each other?
Because we have started working on both standards around the same time, they are fully integrated. So there is for example, the European tree pruning standard is longer and bigger because it has also included works on veteran trees. That's something in Polish standard we have not included. We said veteran trees, normally they need individual approach. So that's not in Polish standard, but the rest, pruning techniques, timing, amount of pruning, the wound size, everything is the same. So it's nice to see this overlap. The same was with the tree assessment standard, that there is nothing that contradicts. Everything is the same, maybe phrased differently, but the content, the framework is exactly the same.
You have been instrumental in initiating the VeTcert certification project in Poland. Could you discuss its importance and the progress you made so far?
In fact, next week we will have our first certification. We have a lot of interest, so we are very happy that it makes our start a little bit easier, but the expectations are high from all angles. We ourselves have a high bar always with the quality. VeTcert is going to be really important, because in the 90s we had, and later on we had this scheme that the Minister of Environment was issuing permits to work on green monuments. It stopped a long time ago, and there was a gap. We didn't have this skill and knowledge requirements to work on green monuments. So I'm hoping that this will, in part, will fill the gap. Yeah, just on Monday, some people of the first candidate group, they asked if we could maybe go to the UK to see the landscape, because VeTcert is deeply rooted in the UK, and really to understand wood pasture, which we barely have, or to understand different landscapes, to understand the continuity of the history of the landscape. So we've decided to go to the UK for one day to Hatfield Forest, just to visit the place and to experience that.
What are your professional plans for near future?
To better manage time. That's the plan. But to continue with standards, to continue to develop the things. I'm always interested in how we can integrate new technologies in our world. I think arboriculture is quite, in some areas, it's not digital enough. So I'm looking into that, how we can make our work easier, how we can use different tools to make our work better, at better quality. And of course, international initiatives and bringing people from different countries and bringing the experience together, that's what we will be looking into.
You've been editor of the book Lifespan of Trees. Can you introduce the book and the team of authors?
Trees Lifespan Approach, that's a book that in one of the projects we had resources to produce a book. And just around that time we met Neville Fay, we met Dirk de Ziefken and Jan Willem de Groot from Netherlands. And it just naturally came that from different countries we need to bring these people, because the countries have a specific theme. They specialize in something else. So in the UK they have for a long time thought about care of ancient and veteran trees. So, and in the Netherlands, they have a specific approach to young tree pruning. So it naturally came together, and we were able to produce the book. For me, one of the greatest surprises was that no one in the past, because back then I was new into this industry, and I thought international cooperation on books, that was always there, but it turns out it wasn't the case. So, and yeah, we can even in the European tree pruning standard, we can see that now it's divided into life stages of trees, which I believe that the book played some role in it. So it's great to see how it goes around.
Kamil, thank you very much and lots of luck.
Thank you.